Hello guys, welcome back to the session. Today we will create a language translator bot in Automation Anywhere. So the project use case would be the user will provide a text to be translated and a language in which that translation is to be done to the bot. Now the bot will run the logic and it will perform the translations. Now once we have this translated text with us, this can be used further in the project according to the project requirement. Here in this project, I'm going to send the translated text as an Automation Anywhere notification to a Slack channel. So let's see how we can create this project in Automation Anywhere. Now since this project has three main sections, so I'll start the bot creation by adding three step actions. Step actions are used to group similar actions together. So let me add the step actions here. This is the first step action, second, and the third one. And let's move to list view. So in the first step action, we will add the actions to take the user input for the language and the text to be translated. So let's give the name accordingly. Let's give the name as user input for text and language for translation. Now the second step will be used to perform the language translations. So let's give the name here, perform language translation. And the third step action will be used to send notification to the Slack channel. So let's give the name accordingly. Send AA notification to Slack channel. And now let's add actions under the first step, that is user input for text and language for translation. So here we will take user input for text and language for translation, and for that I'm going to use the prompt action, which is going to ask for the user input. So under the prompt I'm going to use the action as for value, and let's provide the details here. Prompt window caption as input and prompt message. So in the prompt message, let's provide a message. Please provide the text to be translated. So during the bot execution, a prompt message will be displayed. Please provide the text to be translated, and user will provide a text for translation. Now that text for translation will be assigned to a variable. So create a variable here. Let's give the name as text, which will be a variable of type string. Next, I'm going to add one more prompt action to ask for language for translation from the user. So let's provide the details here. Here window caption I will use as input, and the prompt message, let's give a message as please provide the language for translation. And again the language which user will provide inside the prompt, that will be assigned to a variable. So create another variable here, give the name as language and create it. And now that we have a text and a language for translation, let's build our logic to do the language translations in Automation Anywhere. Well, there are many ways to perform the language translations. One of the way is to use the Cloud Translation API, which Google provides. This API is free for 3 months, and later on you'll have to pay some amount to use the service. Here in this project, I'm going to use very simple and easy to understand Python code for the language translations. So if you have the Python and pip installed in your system, you are good to go. Else, you can install Python from this website and pip from this website. I'll share both these links in the description. Now, once you have this Python and pip installed in your system, you'll have to install a package called Translate. This Translate package provides translation for major languages. So for that, for the installation of this Translate package, let me open the command prompt. And here I will provide the command as pip install translate. And since I have already installed Translate earlier, that's why it says requirement already satisfied. Once you will use this pip install Translate for the very first time, it's going to install this package. And now that we have this Translate package installed, let's begin to write our Python code. So for that, I'll open IDLE, and here I'll open the file, and let's write our code here. First of all, I'm going to import translator from the translate package which we just installed. So here I will write from translate import translator. Import translator. Next we will write the function definition. So def language translator. Next we will specify the language for translation. So for that I will write translator, and inside the brackets I'm going to write from lang equal to English, comma to lang equal to German. So this expression says we want to do the translation from language English to language German, and let's assign this to a variable, say translator. Next we will specify the text for translation. So for that I will write translator dot translate, and let's provide a text for translation here. I will provide the text for translation as good morning, and let's assign this expression to a variable, say translated text. So this expression is going to translate the text good morning, and it will assign the translated text to the variable translated text. I'm going to print this one. So let's copy this one, and I'm going to print this translated text value. So I'll write it inside the brackets, and at the end I'm going to return this translated text. It will be used when this function will be called from automation anywhere. So this function is complete now. Let me call it at the end. Let's save this project. Let's save it inside the RPA folder. I'm going to give the name as language translation, and let's save this file. So let's quickly run this project to see how it works. I'm going to run this one, hit F5. So you see we get this translated text in German language for good morning, as we have provided here the two language as German. So our project is working fine. It is translating the text from one language to another. This function will be called by automation anywhere to translate a text from one language to another with a slight modification. Let me tell you what modification will be required. Let's move to the project. So here you see in this project the user will provide the text and the language for translation. So these two values we require to pass to this function. We'll do a slight modification here a bit later. Now before that I want to add the Python actions here. So let me open the Python script package, and in the next step, that is perform language translation, first of all I'm going to use this open action. Let's take the session name as default, and let's provide the file path of this file. So let's move to desktop file. Let's hit browse, and from this RPA folder let's select this language translation Python file. Let's open this one. Next I will use this execute function. Python session will be default. Make sure that you provide the similar session names both in open and the execute function. So we'll go with this default, and here we'll have to provide the name of the function to be executed. So in our case, the name of the function is language translator. So I'm going to provide this function name here. And next we will provide the arguments to the function. So here you see it supports 0 to 1 argument. That means we cannot pass more than one argument to the function. But in our case, we require to pass two arguments, that is text and the language. So in that case, what we need to do, since we cannot pass more than one argument to the function, we will create a dictionary variable and we will add this text and the language to the dictionary variable. Then we will pass the single dictionary variable as a argument here. So let me create a dictionary variable here. I'll give the name as user data and this will be a variable of type dictionary. Let's create this one. Dictionary variable is created. We'll assign this text and language to the dictionary variable as a key value pair. So move to actions and search for the dictionary package. So here is the dictionary package. I'm going to use this put action from the dictionary package. Let me add it in the first step only. Let's select this dictionary variable user data. Here we can associate the key to the dictionary. We have not created key so far, so let's provide a key here. Let's provide the key as text and here we'll have to provide the value to this key. Now value will be this text variable. So here I'm going to provide this text variable. So we assign this value, that is text variable value, to the key text inside this user data dictionary. Next, we'll have to assign the previous value to a variable as well. This is not required in our case, but since this is a mandatory field, what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign this previous value to the text variable itself. This variable won't be required further, so we can use this one. I'm going to use one more dictionary put action and here we'll do the similar thing. Take dictionary variable user data. This time I will associate a key called language and will assign the value of this language variable. So we assign the value language variable. We assign the value language variable to this key, that is language, inside the user data dictionary. And again, since this is a mandatory field, we can assign the previous value. We can assign the previous value of this key to this language variable as this won't be required further. So here we created this dictionary variable user data which holds two key value pairs, that is text and language, and we can pass that user data dictionary here. So let's provide this user data dictionary in the argument and accordingly we'll have to modify our function definition as well. We have not passed any argument here. But since we wish to pass the user data, that is language and text, in the form of user data dictionary variable, we'll have to pass the argument user data here. We can provide this user data and accordingly we'll have to remove these hard-coded values from here. So the language, I'm going to remove this German and the language I'm going to take from this user data dictionary variable. So what I'm going to write, user data dot get, and here we'll have to provide the dictionary key. In case of language, the dictionary key will be language. So I provided like this. Here you see we have taken the dictionary key as language for the language. Next, we'll have to remove this hard-coded value of text as well. The value will come from the dictionary variable. So let me write it down, user data dot get, and the key in this case is text. So let me write the text here. Now one more thing to notice here is that the user will provide the text for translation and the language in which the translation is to be done. And here we assume that the from language, that is the text which user provides here, is in English. So Here this from language will be English every time, and if I remove this expression that is from language equal to English, the code is going to take the default value as English itself. So if you are providing a from language as English, it is not required. We can remove this one. But if you are providing any another language as from language, you need to provide that. So this expression will work for our case. So we'll go with this expression, and our project is ready now to be called by automation anywhere. We can comment out this print and this call. These are not required. And this function is going to return this translated text which will be cached here. So let's move to this execute function, and the returned value from this function will be stored inside this output variable. So create a variable here, translated text, and create it. We can add a message box to show you what message, what text, what translated text we receive. So hit F2 and take this translated text, and at the end we'll have to close the script as well. So let's move back to Python script package and let's select this close action. Let's save this project. And let's quickly run this project to see how it works, whether we get the correct translated text or not. Later on, we'll add some more actions to send this translated text as an automation anywhere notification to the Slack channel. I'm going to close this file and let's run this. And my project is running now. And here it provided the first prompt to provide the text to be translated. Let's provide a text. How are you doing today? And it displayed the next prompt for the language to provide the language for translation. So let's provide the language as German, and it will do the it will execute the Python script. So it executed the Python script and displayed the message in the translated form in German language. Let me quickly double check this translated text for you in Google. Let me search for English to German. Let's enter the text here which we provided in the bot. How are you doing today? And in German, this is the translation for how are you doing today according to Google, and we got the same translation in Automation Anywhere using our Python code. So let's close this one and let's close this as well. So this project is working as expected. It is translating the text into another language as per the user input. Now we'll add some more actions here to send this translated text to the Slack channel. So many of you would be aware of the Slack. This Slack is a business communication platform to communicate with your team. In case you are not aware of the Slack, do not worry, we will work on Slack from scratch. So for that, let's first launch the URL slack.com, and here you will scroll a bit down to select this try for free option. And since I was already signed into Slack, it didn't ask me for my email ID. In case you are signing it for the very first time, it will provide you the options to sign in either from the Google account or by providing the email ID. So you can choose any of the options to sign in to the Slack. Now once you sign in, as I have already signed in, here we will create a workspace and a channel. So here we have the option to create a workspace, and if you have already existing workspace, those will be available here. So let's create a new workspace. Let's hit create a workspace. And here it is asking what's the name of your company or team. So let's provide the name as QA Lab. Let's hit next. Next, it is asking what's your team working on right now. So let's say AA bot. Let's hit next. And here you see this AA bot channel got created under this workspace QA lab. Next, it is asking who do you email most about AA bot. We can provide the email IDs here for the team. So you can skip this step as of now. Let's skip this step. And here you see our Slack workspace with the channel got created. Now here our job is to send the translated text into Slack using Automation Anywhere. Now to send any data into Slack, we'll have to install incoming webhook. So how to do that? So for that, click on this arrow near the workspace, and here we have the option settings and administration. So move over here and select this manage apps. And here we will search for webhook. So you see we have this incoming webhooks option here, which is used to send data into Slack in real time. So let's select this one and let's click add to Slack. Next we'll have to choose a channel where your incoming webhook will post the messages. So here we have already created a channel AA bot, so we can choose a channel from here, or we can create a new channel as well. So I'll go with this channel AA bot and let's hit add incoming webhooks integration. So this integration, this incoming webhooks has been added. Next, we have all these configuration details of this incoming webhook. Now, our interested configuration details is this webhook URL, which will be used in the Automation Anywhere to send the data. So I'm going to copy this one, copy URL. And also if you scroll a bit down here, we have the customized name as well. So we can change the name here. We can say hey, AA bot notification. So the message in the Slack from this integration will look something like this. So let's save the settings and let's move back to Automation Anywhere. And here in Automation Anywhere, a single step will be used to send the text to the Slack channel. So for that, I will move to this REST Web Service package. And from this REST Web Service package, I'm going to use this put method inside this third step which we created. And here I'll provide the URL which we copied from the incoming webhooks. And here we'll have to provide the parameters. So we'll have to write the parameters inside the curly braces, and here inside the double quotes, inside this double quotes I will write text colon, and inside the double quotes again I'm going to provide the translated text variable. So hit F2 and from here let's select this translated text variable. Let's hit yes insert. So this is in a JSON format. This syntax will be used to send the data to the Slack channel. So our project is ready now. Let's save this project. So what all this project is going to do, this project is going to take text and language for translation as a user input and store them inside a dictionary variable. Then it's going to do the language translations by running the Python script which we have created. Then once it gets the translated text, it is going to send the translated text to the Slack channel. So let's quickly run this project to see how it works. So I'm going to hit run. So it is saying bot has some errors. So let me open the action which we just created. So here this is a mandatory field, although we do not require that. So let me create an output variable. Let's give the name as output and create this one. Now the bot doesn't have any error. Let's save the bot again. And let's quickly run this to see how it works. And my project is running now. It is asking for the text to translate. So let's provide a text here. Hello, greetings to you. Next, let's provide the language for translation. This time, let's give the language as French. And this is the translation in French language for hello, greetings to you. Let's close this one and let's move to the Slack channel. We must receive a message from Automation Anywhere. So here you see we got the message in French language in the Slack channel with the name AA bot notification which we added in the customized name. So in this way we can perform the language translations and send notifications to the Slack channel. And that's all for this session guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a like and share with your friends. Hit the bell button to get the updates on the latest videos. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel as well, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.